Hello and welcome. So, today we will be discussing about bending moment, slope and deflection of fourth unit of material subject. So, this is done by implementing the deflection modules and deflection methods on different structures, especially beam. So, this is moment area method. So, importance of computation of deflection and computation of deflection using moment area method. So moment area method, we have earlier calculated, we have earlier we have earlier studied about bending moment and shear force diagram. So the bending moment is represented in the form of area, and similarly shear force is also represented. So this time we will be connecting bending moment and shear force with the deflection of a beam. So this is the bending equation we have earlier studied, m by I equals c by r. So where r is the radius of curvature and e is the modulus of elasticity, we have earlier studied so many times the bending equation. This time we'll be directly implementing this bending moment equation to find the area of bending moment. So this is the beam. This is a beam, simple supported beam, supported by rollers and by knife edge supports. This is a uniformly distributed load, and this will be having a sagging formation, and the beam will go downwards. So you can see a uniform distributed load is acting all across the beam, and this is the deflection of the beam. So this is coming down, and when it is coming down, sagging is taking place, and when sagging is taking place, there is a line of action from the pin edge support, from the knife edge support, and this deflection is measured by an angle of theta A. Theta A, the deflection in the angular form of the end A, and similarly theta B will have theta B from the horizontal theta A, theta B. So this is the horizontal line, and this horizontal line is uh, subtending this horizontal line is subtending uh, an angle on end A and end B. So end A is beneath the line, and end B, theta B, is upside the above the horizontal line. So this is also tangent. A tangent is drawn on this curve that is representing the deflection of the beam and in sagging condition. So this is elastic curve, and this is that beam. This is making an angle of theta A, and here it is making an angle of theta B. So the deflection of the beam at end A and end B in terms of angle are given by theta A and theta B. Again, we are discussing the deflection of the beam. So various other terminologies we have to take care of. So O is the point, O is the radius of center of curvature, and O dx is the deflection of the central point. So this point has moved from this point when it has been sagging, it has been loaded. So dx is the lateral or the dimension along x-axis, and this point B is considered, and this is x at a distance of x. So dt is the thickness in y direction, and theta b, this is the angle theta b, and tba a distance from b dash to b. So b dash is the projection of point b on this tangential line, on this inclined line. So b is subtending an angle on b. So this way this line will have both the point a and point A, the actual position, and point B dash, the reflection of B. So this line will have A and B dash. This is B, then theta, d theta, and this is x dx, then theta A, theta B, TBA is the distance between B and B dash, B and the reflection of B on this line or perpendicular drop from this point. So TBA is the thickness between B dash and B. So all the terminologies are explained in this figure. So theta AB is the angle that is subtending B with related to A. So if we draw a line like this, we will be having theta delta theta AB. So delta theta, sorry, theta A, theta B, delta theta AB, d theta. These are four angles. 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, and distances are x, dx, dt. Three distances are there. dt between B and B dash. X is the horizontal distance between center point and the B dash, B point, and dx is the deflection of A point from the original position. This was the earlier position, and now this has moved to this position. So this is in case of sagging. Again, in case of hogging, we have this. So in case of sagging, we are having this beam coming downwards. The convex or the belly of this beam is acting downwards, and so we draw a graph called E by EI. Since we are studying the bending moment M by I equals C by R, so we can draw a graph, a curve representing M by EI. M by EI, M by EI means we have to draw a graph that is reciprocal to the radius of curvature. M by EI. So if we draw M by EI graph, we will find that it is going upwards like this. It is M by EI diagram, and it represents a part of the circle that is like this smooth curve like this. It could be part of circle or any other curve. Right now we are not able to define that, but we have got to know that this is M by EI diagram. So initially MA moment generated at A end, then moment generated at B end. So we have taken moment generated at A end, then B end, and then maximum bending moment we have already calculated. So substituting these value, will be finding that this is a part of curve that could be a circle or not. So now we are considering this element dx. So when we consider this element dx, so this is xb, mb by ei, ma by ei. These are the values that are taken, and this way we have drawn this curve. Now, coming to the equation, we are having d theta equals m by ei into dx. This is how d theta equals m by ei into dx. D theta is the angle. So angle is arc upon radius. So arc is this much. Arc is this much, and angle equals arc upon radius. So arc is this much and radius. Dx is the distance. So what we can conclude from here, what we can do is d theta is equal to distance dx multiplied by m by ei. Substituting r from equation 4.2 in equation 4.1. Equation 4.2 is equation 4.1 is bending equation, and equation 2 is dx is equal to d theta into dr into r. Since angle equals arc upon radius, so angle multiplied by radius will be deflecting arc. So dx is equal to d theta into r. So we have found the value of 1 by r. So substituting this value into r, 1 by substituting this value into r. So this will give us dx is equal to d theta into r, and dx is equal to d theta is equal to dx by r. So dx by r. So dx is the in the uh, dx is in the denominator, and 1 by r is done by is given by m by ei numerator, and then m by ei is the denominator and 1 by r is represented by m by ei. So this way we have found the angle, elemental angle d theta. So once we have got this elemental angle d theta, we will be substituting this and integrating from a to b. So for finding results that can be implemented in whole of the element, so first we have found elemental d theta, and this can be enhanced, this can be integrated from a to b in order to find the total deflection. So this way it can be done d theta integral a to b, substituting from integrating from a to b over the range. So substituting this value of d theta m by a into dx, we integrate, and this way we find the and integrating will be finding the angle delta theta AB. So theta b by minus theta is equal to area of m divided by ei diagram between a and b. So m by ei dx is the lateral value, and this is multiplied by, we can see this is dx multiplied by m delta m. So this can be dx area of m by ei diagram between a and b. So this is the whole angle subtended at the A and B. So difference of slope between any 2 points of a continuous elastic curve of beam is equal to the area under the m by ei curve between these 2 points. Now, distance dt along the vertical line through point B is nearly equal to dt is equal to x into d theta. So now we have got dt is equal to x into d theta. Since we know that angle equals arc upon radius, that, or we can also can say that d theta is equal to is hypotenuse. So it can be calculated as square root of dt square plus dx square. But since d theta and dt are very small, so they can be directly added. So this way we have found that d theta is dt is equal to pi into d theta. So sorry, x into d theta, x into d theta, d t is equal to dt is equal to x into d theta. So we can find that angle equals arc upon radius. So this is quite small. So we can take dt as curve or arc, or radius is theta. So angle equals arc upon radius. D theta is equal to dt by dt dt by x. So this we can find dt is equal to dx into d theta, x into d theta. So this way it's coming out dt equals x into d theta. Now similarly integrating for finding the whole thickness. So from a to b x d theta. So again substituting the value of d theta in terms of dx, we will be finding mx by ei into dx. So this is the relationship that is between deflection and the moment. So we have got the deflection, we have got the definition of deflection, and then we have equated, then we have interpreted in terms of movement, bending moment. So we have first of all we have got to first of all we have applied bending moment, then we have got deflection, then relating these two is the objective of this session. So we have integrated, we have clubbed together these two values, and this way we'll be finding thickness, deflection, and TA, the lateral deflection from its original position on the original on the AB line, on the line extended at A. So this way we have got the total value of TB, and we have also got the value of d theta. So this is the relationship between bending moment and deflection of a beam. So these two are the relationships that depicts the said references, the said relationships. So now we will implement this in order to study how this can be implemented and what are the practical examples. So before coming to that, we take an example, another example in which we are taking rather than UDL, we are taking point load. So we have 2 points A and B, a beam AB supported by knife edge pin support, and then again roller support. Then it has been loaded in that the center by a weight of W, point load. So this is the bending moment diagram that we have earlier studied. So this is the actual position. Now we can see the deflection in the beam. So again, deflection of the beam, theta A angle subtended at one end and this angle subtended at the other end. But since this is point load, the maximum deflection will be at the center point. Although in the case uniformly distributed load, the maximum deflection was at the center point, but this is increasing from both the sides. This is increasing from both the sides, and this is the center point is farthest point from both the supports. That's why it has maximum deflection. But here, it in this case, uniformly distributed load, the load is uniformly distributed and load is gradually increasing from here to here and gradually increasing from here to here. If we convert this uniformly distributed load into point load, this will be this can be converted as a single point at the center point, but it will not reflect the same as a point load is, because it has starting from instead started increasing from here and started from increasing from here, and at this point these two uniformly distributed load are clubbed together or added together, where so the deflection will start from here, and this is not reflected. This will be reflected by in by EI equation, but this is not the case. The point load is the point is applied here, so only one load is applied here, rather than increasing from here to here and increasing from here to here. So we will see that maximum load is applied here. So this maximum deflection is given by WL by 4 EI. We can see, so this is the maximum deflection delta C, and this is the thickness TC from vertical thickness TC, and this is total thickness TBA, total deflection from this line A, extended line, and this is the tangential of curve AB. So this is TBA, TCA, delta C is the maximum deflection, theta A angle subtended at the end A, and theta B is not taken into consideration because there is no need. So it's only simple angle, only one angle will represent the symmetric to other. So this way we will be finding again theta is equal to L into TBA. We can see theta is equal to L into TBA. This is multiplied by arc upon radius. So this way we find theta, substituting the value of delta C WL by 4 EI or deflection, maximum deflection. So substituting this value, then finding del L into L by B. So this way, this is WL square by 16 EI. L delta theta half into W by 4 EI into L by B multiplied by 1 by L. So this is the whole angle that is subtended at the end A. WL square by 16 EI clockwise direction. So this will be in this direction. The angle of theta, since it is all coming downwards, so the direction will be clockwise. Total deflection can be taken theta B minus theta I is equal to delta theta AB. The slope at B can be obtained by using the first movement area theorem between point A and B. So we have got moments at A and B, and then these are clubbed together. So this way we have found theta B minus theta I 1 by B into WL by 4 EI into 10 WL square by 8 EI. So this was the theta I deflection. Again, it is noted as minus WL square by 16 EI. Negative sign is because of slope being in the clockwise direction. You can see slope is in the clockwise direction. This point, and this is coming downwards. Slope is clockwise direction. That's why we have taken theta I as minus. So substituting these values, we will be finding delta C. Now we can see another example. We can see another case where we have one free end, another fixed end. You can see this is cantilever beam. So this is the case of cantilever beam. Similarly, we have to, first of all, we have to find bending moment, then maximum deflection. This is bending moment by EI, starting minus WL by EI. This all we have done in exercises we have done in the bending moment and shear force diagram. So this is again uniformly uniformly distributed load. So this we have a curve in the rear direction. So this way we will find this is the maximum deflection, and then again same terminology has been used, except this the case is cantilever beam at with uniformly distributed loading. So this is again we can find delta C and delta PCA. So the this is the case. So we can solve easily by applying all the theory that we have earlier studied. So this will be finding deflection again. So first moment area between A and C, then second moment of the first moment of the area between A and C. This is A and C. You can see this point A and this point is C. B is the center point. So we can find again deflection in the terms of bending moment. So this is another case where one is cantilever beam, another is supported by fixed end, another is supported by roller support, and we can change the position of point load W from center to anywhere else. So this will be the case, and again applying the same fundamentals, you will be finding the same deflection, maximum deflection and slope. So this is to be done by you. This is the practice. Importance of computation of deflection using moment area method. So this was the case where we have studied deflection of beams and related with moment area method. So you can easily understand uh, all the cases. Still, there are ambiguities and non-clarity. In case of not clear to you, you may get in touch with me at my phone number 9069360400. I hope everything is clear and understandable. So for the time being, I am signing off. So I'll be meeting in my next lecture. Okay, bye. See you.